the article 30 Incredible Ways Technology Will Change Education by 2028, Terry Hike makes many predictions on what will change in education. The most impactful change that she mentions is that learning simulations will replace direct instruction. I have already witnessed some ways that simulations are being utilized today. I will describe 3 ways that simulations benefit learners and educators. First, I would like to discuss engagement and learners. In simulations, the learner or user experiences the content and interact authentically with it. I am reminded of an experience I had at a conference with virtual reality or VR, where the presenter has us put on 3D glasses and we are able to experience the inside of a cell. All the parts were clearly defined for us, and the instructor was able to pull our attention to particular characteristics. In a traditional classroom, like my 8th grade biology class, our teacher bravely tried to draw a cell using a projector and overlaying plastic film. The goal was to present content that is abstract and inaccessible to us in the natural world. The 3D simulation allowed us to experience what it was like in a cell that would otherwise have been impossible. In the article From Interactivity to Engagement, Mark Rosenberg highlights the 4 T's of engagement. 1 T, thinking, encourages learners to think authentically and find relevance in what they are learning. I believe that simulations give students the experience of authenticity. Second, I would like to discuss how simulations allow learners to exercise various knowledge and skills through problem solving. The learner is presented with a task that requires solving more than just one problem, but applying skills to a process or series of problems. For example, I'm reminded of a case study I read in a gamification book that talked about a firefighter field test that was created by the Residential Energy Services Network, or ResNet, where a 3D simulation of a burning 2-story home demanded real time problem solving and planning from the firefighters. They experienced additional challenges, such as a sudden gas leak or rips in the hoses. All firefighters experienced the same simulation, so they could all be certified and evaluated by common standards. Simulations allow for these authentic performance tasks and assessments of learner knowledge and skill application. I feel that in a traditional classroom, a multiple choice test or essay couldn't demonstrate the same level of knowledge. Third, I would like to discuss the relevance of simulations to learners. In a traditional classroom, students participate in learning activities that help them practice their skills and knowledge in a low risk environment. My previous example could be applied here too, but I'm going to focus more on military training. For example, let's consider the weapon assembly skill soldiers need. In the podcast, What Makes E-Learning Bad, Brett Schlenker describes the idea of military personnel that practice assembling and disassembling rifles in a simulation. Without the risk or expense of using real rifles, soldiers still practice this important skill, and there is an obvious relevance of this skill too. Another example could be pilot training, where pilots train in a simulator and can work on skills without the fear of death if they fail or crash. They can always click the reset button and try again. In a traditional classroom, there is no way to apply your knowledge in a way that feels real like this. Finally, there is one thing I would have liked Hike to mention, and that is, where do application and assessment fit into this? When is the knowledge applied or evaluated? How do we evaluate the effectiveness of the simulation? And also, what does she mean by direct instruction? Is she talking about replacing teachers or simply becoming more integrated within instructional strategies? I feel that direct instruction is mainly used to present content, whereas a simulation has more of a learning activity or performance task feel. When and how would content be presented then? I guess I'm still left with questions.